Hello everyone and welcome to Faithful to the Traitors. We are here to discuss the UK Series 3.
Episode 7.
7?
8. 6.
No.
5.
5.
Episode 5. Hello anyone who's just catching up. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Hope you're good.
You a traitor?
I'm a faithful. Hello, I'm Alex. I am a faithful. You didn't say your name. You just introduced us to the show.
Well, you started counting down from 8 and it all went from there, really.
I know,
My name
special.
is Ben. No contestant this year called Ben, so...
2 named Alex.
I know.
Popular name in the time I was born.
Both still there.
Yeah,
Both quite quiet.
Both quite quiet, and I like both of them as well, which is nice too. I can honestly say, hand on heart, I loved the way Alexander, gingerly walked through the mud in his Versace jeans and his, like, I don't know, very posh shoes.
I was going to say posh accent.
He was like tiptoeing around.
Ooh, manure.
Yeah, manure.
I'll get some of that for my farm. Yes.
Do you think he owns a farm?
No.
I like the. He did it
I
with
feel he
Leanne.
visits farms though.
Was it with Leanne he did the game with?
No.
No, it wasn't, because Leanne got the shield, didn't she? Whoever he did the game with, I forget.
I think it was
now.
Olivia, probably.
Okay, but it's the way he was like, should we go through the blue and green door? And he's like, no, let's go for this one. Like, that's a great idea, yeah. I love Alexander.
Maybe it was Francesca then.
He is a negotiator, and I love that for him. Yes. Hello,
someone,
everyone.
a listener / viewer, I don't know what to say. They did send us a message saying that they accidentally matched with him on a dating app.
Oh, we're going there, are we?
I was just saying.
I felt like that was private.
No.
Okay, we're saying it. We're saying it out loud.
He's on the dating app, not me, so it's not private. But, so there you go.
Do you want to match with Alexander on the dating app?
No, I don't use dating apps.
Well, of course you don't, because
Too technically advanced for me.
That's the reason why you don't use a dating app.
Yeah.
Not that you've been in a relationship with someone who's not that far away from you.
I just use Craigslist and pick up whoever's on there, really.
how 1990s of you. Or if you're American, 2010s.
Yeah. Is
all
Craigslist still a thing in America? Must be.
It must still be a thing in
That's
America.
weird
Craigslist never
disappeared in
it was
England.
like the 90s, it had a bit of a peak. Yeah, no.
So you can find me on there, Alexander.
Find me in your local news personal ads, because I'm old school. Or teletext. Do you remember teletext dating?
No.
Oh my goodness. That's sorry.
I remember the dating channels we had to like text in and be like, I'm blah blah. And
Well, they weren't
they're a
dating
bit
channels,
weird.
were they? Let's be honest. They were like the groundwork for Grindr. the groundwork.
Anyway,
I
wonder if Linda
welcome to
used
Faithful
them.
to the Traitors, a podcast all about the Traitors, the TV
believe
show.
it or not.
Yeah.
Lots of emotions again this episode. Lots of crying.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Tyler was crying now.
At first, I was a bit suspicious by people crying because I felt like they were upset because they were leaving the show a bit earlier, so they weren't getting as much exposure. But actually, I'm now beginning to believe, with more of an open heart, that they are actually genuinely upset that these people are going against them because they felt like that they were their friends, especially with Tyler. I think Tyler was, and for the first time in the series, blindsided by his fellow clique, as Freddie put it. And I did feel very, very sorry for him. You could tell it hurt him. It really hurt him.
And it just came from nowhere. And Olivia was crying again. She's been the most tearful and frustrated because she just wants to get that traitor Freddie out. She can't do it.
Well,
no one's listening to her.
Livy's very
She's been
desperate.
proved right over and over and over again that she's correct. No one's listening to her. So,
But there's always one though
corner.
that goes on and on and on about someone, and 9 times normally that one person is right as well. They're right that person is a traitor. But unfortunately for Livy, she was right to defend Tyler, but she's not right to then go for Freddie. And I don't know. I just don't think she's got any strength. It's weird that she has no kind of like.
It's my favourite saying, which I do a lot. Confidently wrong.
She is very confidently wrong, but she doesn't have any. She doesn't have any kind of stay in the group particularly. But then I don't think anyone really stands out within the group
Apart from Leon the King, who everyone listens to. That's what Tyler said.
Well, no,
last
Tyler
week.
listened to him.
Now he's gone.
But then Leon stabbed him in the back.
Yeah, well,
this is it. Don't be friends with Leon. He'll sell you a jacked up mobile phone with like a £60 a month, and then you'll get home and you'll be like, "That what have I bought?" Buyer's remorse. That's what you get from Leon. Buyer's remorse.
Although a lot of that was down to Leanne as well. Not all the blame is on Leon.
No, Leanne was a bit naughty as well. Right, look. we're not the only ones who like chatting about the Traitors. We love listening to your views or reading your views as well. So, of course, you can get in touch with us. You can send us an email, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. You can comment underneath the video if you're watching this podcast by searching Faithful to the Traitors podcast on YouTube and then ringing the bell, follow us and subscribe. And as we say, put a little comment underneath the video too. You can get in touch with us on X @Traitors Podcast, on Instagram and Threads @Faithful to the Traitors. If you like the podcast, you can encourage more people to listen and watch it as well by telling your friends and sharing us on your social media, or you can help with the podcast by going to buymeacoffee.com/faithful. We also have a WhatsApp group. All the information is in our show notes for how you can join that too. That is the best I've ever done that. In over 100 episodes, it's 100? Always been a garbled mess. Yeah, over. Have we done 100? We've done over 100.
Oh gosh. Well, you can get in touch with us on Buy Me a Coffee, like
.com/faithful.
Yes. We don't buy coffees there, we buy silver bars.
Silver bars, of
or
course.
Gold coins, because we're in the UK now, aren't we?
That's right. Goodness me, I keep making mistakes.
It's hard to update our currency every series we do.
We just do silver bars. We just say generalised silver bars.
So
because that's what New Zealand use and that's what we're keeping.
Yeah, and Canada. Did they? Oh no, Canada used wooden coins.
Canada uses trust and like.
No budget there. Right, Steve Cox brought us some silver bars.
Hi, Steve.
He said, hi, Ben and Alex. Correct order. Love the podcast. I think the ones that they shortlist are awful choices. This is talking about the end of last night's episode with the shortlist of who they're going to recruit.
Recruited, yes. It was between, we'll talk about it in a moment anyway.
Leanne or Lisa maybe would have been better choices to recruit, as their names haven't come up at all. Depends if they want someone that they can just discard though and use, which is what they're going to do with
Which
Anna,
is what they were going to do, and Anna sniffed it out.
Out of the options, Fozia was probably the best one from the choices, and Joe seems like a rather horrible person as well, by the way.
I concur.
Again, just add that on the end there. But,
well, good for them. And also, like, Joe really didn't do himself any favours in this episode because, again,
he wasn't that bad this episode.
Oh, his snide remarks were doing my head in, especially during the game.
Well, they're doing a lot of things with
game based on pretty much luck until you get to the very end
he was
door.
Fine
and he was
on
still
there.
Moaning about it.
No, he wasn't.
No, it's the balloon.
No.
Clown.
I think you're being mean to Joe. He was fine on the game. It was just that last bit at the end where he was a bit iffy, but...
But also his reaction when Claudia said, "Oh, and the only person who's playing the game on their own is Dan," and his reaction of like side eye. It was like,
well, he wants
God's
to be
sake,
Dan
Joe.
In the
that's true.
house.
We have discussed their
I saw some comments
hug
actually
burning love between them
on our YouTube. One person said, the name's Henry. They said, "I swear Dan and Joe look like they could be brothers."
Oh yeah, someone said that if they removed their glasses, is this the comment?
No.
Oh, okay. Someone said, or someone else got in touch with us and said if when Joe removed his glasses, he looked like Dan, so they could be siblings.
So you were putting them as lovers last time.
Conspiring.
Also, I have a feeling that Dan may win because he's been getting a lot of those little bits of content towards the camera, the VT bits. But then another comment on our YouTube said, "This is a stupid thought. But as soon as Joe and Dan had a little tiff at the table tonight, I thought, are they actually a couple and pretending to not know each other?"
Oh, so you think Joe and Dan are a couple?
That's from Rihanna. So
Rihanna, Riri.
Fenty Beauty, yes.
Fenty Beauty, yeah.
So, people think they're brothers. People think they're in a secret relationship. You think there's something going on between them, possibly.
I think there's a lot of tension between them. It's the kind of tension that can only be relieved if...
on Craigslist.
Yeah, if you go on Craigslist, let's just say. Right, so they tried to recruit. That's where we started.
Yeah, we said it was stupid.
Where we said that where they were ended. It was between Fozia, Freddie, and Annie. Annie, right? Anna, and
swimming instructor. I found out this episode.
She was a swimming instructor.
Well, she is.
Well, you'd have thought then she would have gone for Jack when it was the challenge with the correct cages, because Jack was, and I quote, swimming very tall money. Yeah,
swimming.
He did mention swimming. I'm sure he mentioned
maybe
she
put some
swimmer.
coins in for that.
Maybe.
But they tried to recruit Anna, and she did cleverly, rightly so, said no.
She got very upset, and you could tell that it was properly like burning.
Because it's obvious
in her
why
mind.
they tried to recruit her, because they wanted to just throw her under the bus, which was. They should have murdered because there's too many people.
Good for her for saying no, because we've seen on a few occasions people still say yes, and they think that they can somehow kind of change their opinion of what they're going to do with them. But no, Anna was entirely right, and I think this episode would... Oh, You're getting your cough back.
I know.
And it was going to be thrown under the bus, and she knew it. But this really, for me, showed how strong Mina and Linda are as traitors.
Mina and Linda? Putting them both under strong traitors?
They're good traitors. Okay. As a team together.
How far you've come since episode 1?
I've always said Linda's good. I've always said Mina's been the bet. Mina was going to be the one who's going to be the navigator. But I do think that with Mina and Linda, when they're in that turret together, they genuinely have some sisterhood there. They really do.
They trust each other.
And I think the traitors are frightened of them, not knowing who they are.
The traitors, the faithful.
Sorry, yes, the faithful are frightened of the traitors. That is a discretion that I should correct myself for. So that's interesting to me, that the faithful are very aware that recruitment basically means that they're going to be thrown under the bus. Perhaps it's where they've watched other series of the traitors, and I've seen online, people have been saying that the reason why Series 3 feels a little bit different is because now people are getting very used to the format. Series 1, people didn't really know the format. Series 2, people were still kind of like hunting it out a little bit. Series 3, people know what's happening now. But it's just interesting to me that the traitors seem to have this new power now, that being asked to be recruited by them is an automatic almost no now, and it's not even considered anymore.
And a lot of them are saying, because Freddie said also, like, the feeling of them going up and saying I'm a faithful to their faces because they're faithful is way better than being recruited than having to say I'm a traitor, even though I was a faithful. Do you know what I mean? Like these faithful literally like, no, I'm a faithful.
Yes.
You ain't changing that. I'm going to stand. I'd rather lose the game and stand up and tell you and have my little 5 minutes.
It reverses.
Like Kaz did.
It reverses what we thought a little bit of the beginning of the series, because and I still think that a lot of them, or the majority of them, wanted to be traitors, which was a very strange thing to see this series as well. It was pretty much oh yeah, definitely I want to be a traitor, and the disappointment when people weren't chosen as traitors. But the game sucks you in so hard that it then, when you become a faithful and you then got this team and this game to play, you are then 100% faithful. There's nothing that's going to turn you.
Can't go to the dark side. No.
Exactly, because you feel like you're betraying your friends. So I'd be interested. Anna was completely right to say no. I'll be interested to see if they do try to recruit again before a forced recruitment happens, i.e. there's only one traitor left, whether anyone will say yes, and whether it will be anyone from the clique that Freddie has pointed out.
Well, even if there is a forced one, you have to wonder whether they're then just going to be like automatically thinking, I'm going to be thrown under the bus, so I need to act really quick and get them out. It's going to, But
when there's only one traitor, you're on an even playing field. When there's two traitors and you're joining, that it's uneven odds.
That's true.
So you've got more of a chance of winning or staying as a traitor and beating the existing traitor. So it's an easier game to win, I think.
We don't have to worry about that though, do we? Because she said no.
She said no. She didn't tell anyone until the very end, and she told Charlotte.
Yes.
Because it was after Lisa had made the revelation that she is a
ordained
priest. Is it? Yeah. And
a woman of God.
Woman of God. I mean, they really ran on that one.
If she was trying to keep that secret this whole time, why did she say on the first night, "God is my witness"? It's like, well, you're not trying to keep it that secret, are you? Really?
Yeah, people got really offended by that. That's what really...
It's like, well, don't... If you're trying to keep it secret... It's like that's like a pick me. It's like, I have a secret, by the way. Oh, what is it? Oh, I can't tell you. That's basically that. It's like, well, don't just stand there saying, God is my witness, I'm a faithful. On the first round table.
It'd be good if Lisa was a bit like...
I dropped my dog collar.
Who was the guy...
Left it on the chair.
Who was the guy from Big Brother? The guy who got upset and so started walking up the stairs slowly with his Bible in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Lisa should have done.
Name.
Walking around with the Bible in her hand, kind of looking really forlorn because people were voting for her around the management table. Yeah, so, it was a weird thing for Lisa to say. And as you say, it was like she was deliberately trying to provoke people to ask her, like, oh, why did you mention God? Oh, what's that white strip around your neck? Oh, why are you wearing a cross around your neck? It was a strange thing to say.
Let's do a Joe sandwich for you, because you've been very negative for Joe. Joe said one comment which you said, I agree with you.
Yes, I do.
When he said, if that's the case, why did you apply for the show?
And Joe was right to say that, because Lisa said that the reason why she said God is my witness, and she can't lie, and is because she can't lie, she can't be dishonest, she can't be traitorous.
Yeah, on God's name.
But also I think she kind of encompassed like her whole personality around that, if you know what I mean. Like her job was her personality, and I think Joe was, you won't hear me say this all the time, but I think Joe was right to point out that, like, why did you go on a show where, what if you had
the possibility of
what if you had been made a traitor?
That's not what she said to Claudia either, is it?
No,
she said to Claudia, I can lie because I'm not a, wherever it was, the one up above her, the levels of
the archbishop or something.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not a bishop. Oh no, a saint. I'm not a saint, so I can lie. So, you know, it's all very murky ground in these churches.
Say, that's a very murky area to kind of like say you can't lie. I think it would be seen. Churches, I would argue would be seen as a little bit if she was to lie on national television in front of a quite large audience that the BBC seemed to be able to dictate.
So their mission was a fright. And because production didn't expect no one to be murdered, one had to do it on their own.
Yes, I know.
Claudia was like, we're all in pairs. Oh, but you messed up production, so there's one person on his own.
One on their own. But then it didn't really make much sense why they're in pairs either, other than the fact that they had to have 10 balloons.
It was a really difficult game as well.
Actually, that's the point. There was 10 balloons for £10,000. Actually, they mucked up by not having an extra person, because if one person was murdered, there'd only be 9 balloons.
The whole game was... The whole mission was too difficult as well. Like, it was literally impossible to get all the money.
It was impossible.
You can't do it
unless you really, really lucked out on the very first go.
Yeah, and described it really well to everyone else.
I mean, no, the descriptions were fine, because once they found the path, everyone took the same path correctly, and the five remaining groups made £5,000 for the prize pot, which incidentally is £29,500.
Still a bit low, but
it's not bad, is it? Really? They were told that they would get a shield. The first group that went through the doors to the very end would get a shield. And it was basically that. It's a bit like that game in the first series of Squid Game. I've not seen the second series, please don't spoil it for me, where they have to go across the glass floor. So the person who goes first actually doesn't have an advantage, because they have to keep choosing the right path to get to it.
So Linda and Lisa put their arms up.
Well, this was a bone of contention, especially with Fozia, because she said that the group, everyone was having a little chat with each other, and that Lisa and Linda kind of went forward straight away and were like, no, we'll go first. I mean, I think Fozia was a bit unfair, because she has to remember that, like, she was quite insistent of coming off the train on the very first week. Yep. She made that then the reason why she should stay in the game later when she's in the cages. She said, I was the first to get off the train. So to kind of accuse Linda and Lisa of something she had done, which isn't uncommon in this series of the Traitors, let's be honest, because that's happened a few times recently, it seems a little unfair. But at the same time, Fozia to win, because I bloody love her. Her reactions, especially when like things go wrong, are just perfect. I adore Fozia so much. I just want her in the game to.
Linda wants her dead. She has to be mad.
But this is it, because Linda's having little secret conversations behind Fozia's back with Lisa and with Mina.
She's pissing me right off. Yeah. So there's battles between.
It's funny how Fozia is rubbing, because Linda's not really, other than Jake. Okay, so she's had an arch nemesis, but they've kind of had a very friendly, banterous type conflict between them. But the one between Linda and Fozia, it feels like a female Dan and Joe to me. And Fozia is in trouble, let's just say, and we see that at the end of the episode as well.
But so the people who got the shield were Leon and Leanne. So Leanne's got another shield.
Yep, two episodes in a row. Leanne's doing very well with the shield.
Leanne was also suspicious of the way Lisa reacted to her shield at the breakfast, where she said, I had the shield. She was like, oh.
Yes, almost as if, to quote, this is what Leanne said, almost as if Lisa was disappointed because she tried to murder her. So none of them are that suspicious that there was a recruitment. They all seem pretty confident that it was actually a failed, botched murder. Yes, because as we said already, Anna hasn't revealed to anyone other than Charlotte later on. Charlotte that she had been put forward for recruitment.
And the clique If we're allowed to call them that without getting yelled at.
I mean, calm down, because Livy will shout at you.
And so will Leon. And so will Leanne. Get very
Leon
tetchy.
got very upset. Leon didn't get angry. He just got hurt. He was like, "Oh, if I'm allowed to have friends, then I'll talk to them, shall I?"
And the one who least upset out of the clique was Tyler, and he got voted off. So it's all very odd.
Well, then yes, and which Freddie then jumped on, of course.
So they in the morning they were basically like, right, we messed up yesterday. It's Freddie. Tyler was like, Freddie, Olivia, yep, in there. Leanne was on that. And then they went to go talk to Freddie because he was getting a bit annoyed.
This was after Freddie said that he was suspicious of one of the clique, which then spiraled out of control.
Which Mina had also said to someone else, and also Dan had said. So he wasn't the only one who said this, but he was the one who said it to their faces.
He was vocal about it.
Yeah. Because they kept saying, well, name people then. He said, okay, you've got a group of friends who none of you are getting murdered. Maybe one of you is a traitor. I feel he could have maybe worded it better.
He shouldn't have used the term clique, because I think as soon as the word clique came out, it kind of made them immediately think that people thought they were game playing, and you don't want to be seen as much as you want to be a game player. You don't want to be seen as a game player.
He should have said, like, you're all safe, maybe think about why, because you're all a group of close friends. Olivia, that may have worked better on Olivia because she's quite heightened, her emotions, so that might have worked better.
Is that because she's a woman, Ben?
No.
Is that because she's a woman? How dare you?
Okay, well, Tyler also shouted.
Well, so did Leon.
Exactly.
Is that because they're women, Ben?
But I just think that would have worked better saying that way to Olivia. I think it would have worked.
Oh no, I
it wouldn't have made her like go off the clique edge so much.
Yeah, Freddie worded it incorrectly, and he did say that as well. He was very open and honest with Leanne and Leon afterwards. But this is the thing, again, the turncoating on this series is insane. Last episode, the clique, I'm just going to use it because it's a lazy man's term, the clique, were all going against Tyler because he went against them at the round table, because he said he was going to vote one way and then voted another. Then they all say to Tyler, we're all going for Freddie this episode, and then they all went against him. So they kind of did, again, the one thing they accused Tyler of being, which is a turncoat, they did to him. Although I do love a blindside, I must say. This was an exciting episode because of that blindside. Yeah,
it did just come out of nowhere, because I do think Freddie just said Tyler because they were like, well, name someone.
Yeah,
and he kept being like, well, I don't want anyone on because I don't know 100%. That could lead to a Faithful being voted off. And they're like, let's name someone. So he did.
Yeah.
Faithful got voted off. So, it was Tyler who took the brunt.
But the way they attached themselves to Freddie's opinion as well.
But it was Leanne first.
Yeah.
She did it first, because she was like, because Leanne wanted to talk to Freddie and she was going to leave the room. She was like, no, I can't leave the room. And then she said, I don't think Freddie's a traitor. And then it went from there, and the Tyler thing happened.
But it's mad, wasn't it? Because Freddie was literally 10 minutes, or in the edit, it was before they had the conversation. They were all saying like, oh, Freddie's caused an argument. Oh, hey, we all hate Freddie. Then Leon and Leanne decide that they're going to have a conversation with him, and it was just in one sentence of, honestly, I think it might be Tyler from Freddie, and they were like, yeah, actually, I think it might be right. It was just
but they didn't include Olivia in it, which was a bit weird. Not very cliquey of them. Maybe they're not a clique.
Well, this is it. They might be right. Maybe they are just a group of three people formerly four people, now three, who just enjoyed each other's company, and it's just because they kind of got along with one another.
Or maybe they thought Olivia was too. She was like closest to Tyler. Maybe they didn't want to involve her because of that. Maybe.
Well, that's true, because Olivia fought tooth and nail for Tyler at that round table. There was tears. There was snot. No, genuinely, like Livy was really, really fighting crying. Tyler's corner, and Tyler wasn't, though. That's the shame of it all, and this is where we come to it, because like Tyler wasn't the only one getting accusations around that round table. Lisa was getting accusations, and Lisa, cool, calm, and collected, just said, "Well, sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed by a lot of people asking me a lot of questions at the same time, and." I just don't feel very confident being very open and, with my accusations toward people. But if you think I'm a traitor, then I accept your thoughts and I'll take it. And everyone was just like that immediately, like, oh no, it can't be Lisa. It was just mad the way Lisa did. And this is my point in the last episode. It can turn around at the round table. You just have to know how to get people back on your side.
Yeah.
And Lisa did it right. Which Tyler didn't, and Lisa did.
I do think a part of Tyler was like wanting to go up there and say, he's a Faithful just to prove, because he kept saying, look at Leon, look at Freddie. So there's a bit of that. But yeah, there's when it gets to that point, I don't think there's much you can really do, because it was quite unanimous, the vote.
It was a unanimous vote. We forget also that Dan was pushing Taylor hard too. And I think that's really damaged Dan's reputation amongst the group. Dan was always a bit of a solo rogue, every now and then kind of pushing a thought forward, and people would listen to him, not necessarily pick up on it immediately, but on this occasion Dan did push Tyler quite hard, and I think he was quite shocked by the revelation that he was a faithful too.
I don't know if it will mess his game up too much though, because it was such a unanimous vote that it's not like I don't know, it's not like an outlier. But him and Mina had a little outsider scene with coats wrapped around them.
That's right. They trust each other because they're both Scousers.
Yeah, and there was another. Speaking of the person who commented saying like Dan's getting a certain edit, like there was like, oh, and I just hate getting rid of people who I think I'm friends with and trust, and like Mina was sat next to him. And it's like, okay, but we can see the fire pit right now, can't we?
Oh, I know. I mean, this is it though. This is another very common mistake on the show, and again, I respect the clique. It's just me being lazy. They're not necessarily a clique, but I respect the clique. Sorry, because they had their suspicions that one of their own or one of their friendship group.
And they went for it.
And that's unfortunately the name of the game. I was a bit surprised at the round table also. Obviously, Livy did her normal stomp off and get upset. It's like, no one's listening to me. I can't take it.
Every round table, she stands up and she says, I just got to get out of here now. So it's like,
get me out of here.
Every single one. Bless her.
I thought people would have gone for Freddie. I must say, I was expecting it. My gut was tied, waiting for them to then jump on Freddie and be like, you were the one who said this. You're the one. You definitely are a traitor now. It wasn't said at this episode, but I feel like next episode.
Once Olivia's had her 8 hours of sleep,
yes,
then
she's had her beauty sleep. But do they get sleep though? Because they always complain that they never sleep very well unless they know they're got the shield. Leanne's having a beautiful time.
Mrs. Double Shield. So before we go on to the turret, then we have got Tyler to do. So.
The barber.
What's your name and where do you come from?
Tyler. So I got distracted with the sentence, you've got Tyler to do. I thought you were going to make a
sexual
joke
innuendo.
Or something. But
I'm rising above them, Ben. I'm doing I'm doing
that
better.
Will do nicely. You'll ride above Tyler. Right, he's very tall. 29.
Not as tall as Jack.
Jack?
Yes.
Who's Jack?
Jack was the one who got eliminated in the cage.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Who's Jack? That just shows how
series
cutting,
4 Jack.
This series is. He's like, who's Jack? Sorry. Anyway,
right. So thanks to his job cutting hair, Tyler has learnt how to gain a person's trust while he cuts their hair, getting them to open up about their plans. I feel that this is the independent.co.uk. This doesn't feel like it's written very well.
Every time you do a fact file,
not every time, but
every series, you complain about the fact file that you have chosen to use.
It's part of the charm.
Why don't you find a fact file that you agree with before you go ahead?
It's not
and
like I
use
disagree. So that sentence was a bad sentence, isn't it?
What, that he's a hairdresser and he enjoys listening to
his job is cutting hair.
Yeah.
Tyler has learnt how to gain a person's trust cutting their hair. You know what I mean?
So through conversation.
You don't repeat yourself twice in one sentence like that. Anyway. Quote.
Ben, who's taken no degree in journalism, telling a journalist how to write.
Quote.
Yes.
I feel like I can gain people's trust quite easily. He says, quote.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like I can adapt to any situation. I've always said I can get on better with older people. Not many people my age really enjoy getting to know older people, and I feel like I can just adapt with anyone. If he wins, he wants to buy his own barber shop.
Oh, to cut hair.
Quote, I love my barbering. That's my pride and joy.
Oh, good for him. Good for him. He didn't really have any relationship with anyone elderly. There was Lisa and Linda there waiting for some attention, and he didn't really seem to give them any back.
Olivia stole his time.
Are you calling Olivia old now?
No,
So
I'm just
not
saying-
only are you calling her like
An emotional woman.
an emotional woman,
I
you're calling
didn't
her
say that.
old.
No, all these
Sorry,
things.
Livy. I
All your
apologise for
things
Ben.
you're saying is not what I've said. So maybe
Sure.
I had a Freddie moment and I just used the wrong words.
That's true.
Right, so
That's
leave me
true.
alone.
So Taylor went out. Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler. He went out with 12
He loves
votes.
barbering, wants a barber shop to do his barbering.
He's cutting hair now. He's gone back to cutting hair. Or going on social media and gaining a following on that.
Right, gotta try.
Who snooze? Lisa got 3 votes. She dodged that bullet very well. And she then continued to dodge that bullet because now she's told everyone she's ordained. That's it.
Yeah, she gathered the flock.
Freddie got 2. Freddie got 2 from the usual suspects, Jake and Joe. Because Jake and Joe just cannot shake it off themselves that it has
Surely
to be
Olivia
Freddie.
went for Freddie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was actually. I beg your pardon. It wasn't Joe at all. It was Jake and Olivia. Sorry. I beg your pardon, Joe. I'm just finding an excuse to moan
Joe.
about you. I know I am. I'm being very cruel to
Getting
Joe.
abuse all over.
So before they went to the turret, we should also point out that Joe, and we're now going to talk about Jake and Joe, the conspiracy bros, or what's left of them.
They're one
Know what I
down.
mean? Know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Jack never got in, unfortunately, but he could have. I feel he could have been.
He would have been a conspiracy bro if he'd got in. They're now gunning for Linda, and Linda's now got another target on her back. So there's Fozia, Jake, and Joe who are all gunning for her. And that could possibly be influential for one of the people who goes up for the murder squad this episode.
Because Linda did say Fosie has to be murdered to her VT. But then when it came to it, there was a few more options laid out. The thing is that these faithful are basically doing the traitor's job for them. Like this whole episode, Freddie did all the traitor work.
Yes.
Really.
But Mina's quite cleverly, like, Linda's not really doing anything manipulative with the group, really.
No, she just walks around.
She just walks around,
Says things.
acts every now and then. Oh my gosh. But Mina actually is taking an active role into kind of weaving a spell within the group, but no one's spotting it. Mina is playing
She's
a
doing
blinder.
Because that's when they got
blinder.
back from the mission. Fosie, they were getting their dinner, and Fosie like having a casual chat with Linda.
Oh, yeah, Linda
like-
was like, I'm
gonna go.
eat. Yeah, I'm gonna go now.
And then just like slowly plodded off. And it's like, what's happening? It's just,
Walked through one door, saw it was a cupboard, closed it, and then walked out.
everything's all a bit awkward and weird around Linda, but I do like it.
We love Linda.
She does remind me of the actress from My Family. I don't know what her
Zoe
name
Wanamaker.
is. Yeah, she reminds me of her. So yeah. So what were the options of murder then? So it was
Fozia, because she's starting to be forceful with her opinions, and she's not stopping short to push her agenda, and they want to cut her off before she can do any further damage
As
within
much
the
as
group.
I love her, I do feel like that's probably the best murder because she's quite a strong player. But
Well, Livy was the second one, Olivia, because it would frame Freddie again.
that's silly.
It worked once, it might work again.
No, that would be stupid because why would Freddie get rid of Livy, who was the one person really being like, you're a traitor? Like, that wouldn't frame him. That would just make him look more innocent. Especially with how quickly he turned it around this time, saying basically that already to...
Yeah, but it has been brought up on a couple of occasions with the murder. Who did they murder to make it? Was it Maya? Or was
it was
Keith?
No, I don't know. I can't remember.
cool.
Someone.
Well, it was either Yin, Maya or Keith. There's only been 3 murders, by the way, this series. Yeah.
Oh,
Nuts.
must be Maya.
I think it was Maya. When they murdered Maya, it was because it was to put the finger of blame toward Freddie. Can I just say that actually it feels weird to me that like there's been absolutely no suspicion of Alexandra or Fozia at all. That like if any other series had happened, but because other things are happening,
There's not been a chance for them to be traitors, though. Really, like if you think about,
they can go into the game
production-wise-
as a traitor.
Yeah, but you know that's not gonna. That
It could.
if I was on the show and they came in
It
episode
does.
4, if they came in episode 4, I would not think. I would think there's impossible for them to be traitors.
Oh, there
Had
was me thinking they were coming back in episode 8. So
yes, quite.
Anna was the third choice because she talks too much.
And she said no to their
And
recruitment
they want to basically, at the end of the day, they want to punish her for saying no.
because they think she's not told anyone.
But she has told
Yes,
someone
at the last minute.
which would make it very interesting. And that's why, for me, I think there was a real editing decision there that they showed that at the very end because it was only one person she said that to. That was Charlotte. Charlotte doesn't really have that much influence in the group, but probably could get a few people on her side.
If Anna's murdered.
So I think Anna is murdered.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a producer being like, listen, Anna, I'm not saying you're going to be murdered tonight.
Yeah, but you are.
Do you want to just tell someone just so we can keep this story strand going?
Absolutely.
A few episodes? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, maybe.
So we put the poll out on our X. I will put the poll out on other social medias. It's just that because I want to say tweeting. I'm tweeting during the show. It's easier just to put it on. Oh, such a shame that term's gone, isn't it? Sorry, just to reminisce. I asked, who do you think is going to be murdered? Anna, Fozia, or Livy? It was very close, actually, between Fozia and Livy. Ooh. 45% said Fozia, 40% said Livy, and only 15% said Anna. I'm actually surprised. I genuinely think Anna might be out because I think they're going to punish her.
I think sensible-wise, it should be Fozia. Mm-hmm. But yeah, because of that thing where she told Charlotte at the end, there's got to be a reason. I don't know. I don't want to say that they're producing manipulation. This is such Traitors US talk, but
let's be honest. All reality shows are edited to a degree where you're, as an audience, being pushed and pulled to tug
but it's
your
the Traitors
emotions.
UK, so I have to be biased.
Yeah, but even the first series, there was that kind of push and pull.
No, I'm emotionally biased. I'm emotionally biased for the UK version.
That's fine, but that doesn't take away the fact that all editing is done pretty much the same way for reality television. Not on the BBC. Not on Auntie Beeb. Oh no, never. Don't forget though, we're not affiliated with the BBC. We are completely independent and we can say what we like.
We can.
You are.
Do you want her to be on the Celebrity Traitors, do you?
I would love Chip Shop Diva to be on the Celebrity Traitors. Right. Shall I sum up then? Shall we finish? Are we done?
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Is that us? Mm-hmm. Are you off to go to Craigslist to find yourself someone to spend the night with?
I'll just flick through Alexander's Hinge profile, which was sent to us, whatever it was.
Why not?
Minge profile.
Minge?
I don't know.
Hinge was the right term. I don't know where you got Minge from. Imagine if they released a dating app called Minge.
I don't ever get Minge. Sum up.
Right, so what do you guys think?
You're watching the BBC.
Get in touch with us and we'd love to know your opinions. faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. As I say, comment underneath the video if you're watching us on YouTube. Search Faithful to the Traitors Podcast. Don't forget to ring the bell, subscribe and follow us. You can also follow us on any of your favourite podcast apps. Don't forget to subscribe on them as well because you can never miss an episode of this very exciting Series 3 UK Traitors. I've also said already on our social media that we'll be doing the American series when it comes out. That's actually just started in America, but we won't be carrying that until the UK series has ended.
Yeah, we can't learn 50 people's names.
Too hard. All I know is Bob the Drag Queen.
Yeah, who'll probably go out first.
Drag queens do really well on Traitors. You can find us on X @Traitors Podcast, on Instagram and Threads @Faithful to the Traitors. If you enjoy the show, don't forget to tell your friends, share us on social media, and also you can help grow the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/faithful. If you attach a comment to that, we guarantee we will read that out. That's right.
No matter what you say.
Pay for say.
You can say whatever you want.
And don't forget, we've also got a WhatsApp group. You can find the link on our show notes.
Lovely. So we'll see you tomorrow then for the final episode of the week. So until then, here's my Brian Downing. Stay faithful.